The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Listen, this entire situation has just escalated dramatically, especially now that Prince's name is being brought up in connection with Diddy's trial. That was something absolutely no one anticipated. We were already made aware, thanks to Jason Lee, that Diddy used to throw some absolutely outrageous and wild parties at Prince's residence. But darling, what we're seeing unfold now is an unexpected development that caught everyone off guard.
That I don't know, right? What I know is that he was really health conscious. He was a vegan. He didn't abuse alcohol. I didn't know of him abusing drugs. He worked out, so, that also really concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
Now picture this. What if Prince actually had surveillance cameras running the entire time during those gatherings? He wasn't simply private, he was calculated and always seemed to be operating several steps ahead of everyone else, maintaining full control over every detail. Interestingly, he never made appearances at those events himself, which led many to assume he simply didn't associate with that kind of chaos. However, whispers are starting to suggest otherwise. What if he possessed compromising material documenting everything that transpired in his home and kept that footage hidden away? Some believe he may have entrusted that evidence to someone prior to his passing. Considering how the case is developing, there's growing speculation that these recordings might eventually make their way into court proceedings. That's incredibly shocking. And believe me, the surprises in the courtroom didn't stop there. Even the jury selection process left people stunned, with an array of unexpected names being mentioned. Some were anticipated, while others were completely astonishing. Michelle Williams, Robert Downey Jr., Mike Myers, Lauren London. Seriously, what on earth is happening?
First, 1999. My publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
Oh no. Now, there were certainly names we did expect to be pulled into this legal disaster, starting with Cassie. She was the very first to come forward, filing a shocking and deeply unsettling lawsuit. According to her, numerous individuals employed by Diddy, including Bad Boy staff, personal assistants, and security personnel, witnessed these incidents firsthand. Yet not a single one had the courage to speak up, and it becomes even more disturbing. Cassie revealed that the very same assistants were responsible for delivering so-called apology gifts following violent episodes. And it didn't end there. She alleged that these assistants were also the ones organizing the infamous freak-offs, booking hotel suites, preparing the environments with baby oil and Astroglide. I mean, what kind of job description even includes something like that? And then comes the truly heartbreaking part. Cassie claimed that after one especially traumatic event, both Diddy's head of security and his assistant saw the state she was in, and they broke down crying. That's how horrific it was. If this turns out to be accurate, you can be sure those employees are about to be subpoenaed immediately. And let's not forget Harve Pierre. His name emerged in yet another lawsuit against Diddy, this time from an anonymous Jane Doe. And yes, reports indicate he's been listed as a witness, too.
Deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
Which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
This is where things start to take a deeply disturbing turn. One Jane Doe stated that Harve Pierre persuaded her to travel all the way from Detroit to New Jersey, only for her to allegedly suffer assault at the hands of both Harve and Diddy. That's not just scandalous, It's absolutely terrifying. And the names involved continue to multiply. Young Miami, who was reportedly on Diddy's payroll, is also allegedly linked, not merely as an observer, but rumored to have transported illicit substances for him. And wouldn't you know it, her name surfaced during jury selection as well. This controversy isn't just brushing up against celebrities, it's crashing directly into the inner circle surrounding Diddy. Another unexpected name, Dallas Austin. Most recognize him as a successful music producer, but fewer realize that he was a close childhood friend of Kim Porter, Diddy's late partner. Since Kim's sudden passing, speculation has lingered about Diddy's potential involvement. With Dallas's name now in the mix, people are wondering if this piece of the puzzle is finally about to come into focus. And then there's Lori Ann Gibson, the choreographer from Making the Band. She filed a police report back in 2007, alleging that Diddy picked up a chair and threatened her while on set. Completely unhinged behavior. Aubrey O'Day has also been extremely vocal, loud and clear, standing with Cassie's claims and calling out Diddy's alleged inappropriate conduct toward her. And yes, former Danity Kane member Dawn Richard has entered the picture too. She even sued Diddy, accusing him of serious misconduct. According to her lawsuit, the alleged abuse wasn't limited to private settings. It reportedly began right on the set of Making the Band. He was said to have hurled degrading insults at the female participants while cameras were rolling, emotionally breaking them down, and when it came to making music, Dawn claimed things became even worse. She said Diddy forced her to rehearse for endless hours without proper rest, food, or sleep, driving her to the point of exhaustion. That, she claimed, is when he took advantage of her vulnerability. But that still wasn't the end. Dawn delivered a significant revelation. She said she personally witnessed Diddy physically assault Cassie while under the influence. That kind of direct testimony could dramatically alter the direction of this case.
Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Shift the focus to the men connected to Cassie. Michael B. Jordan's name came up, but not because he's accused of anything inappropriate. His name was mentioned in Cassie's lawsuit due to a flirtatious dynamic they shared back in 2015, but the prosecution appears ready to bring in as many of Cassie's past partners as possible, and we can guess the reason. Kid Cudi's name stands out in a major way. Cassie admitted to a short-lived romance with him in 2011, during a rough patch in her relationship with Diddy. When she and Diddy reconciled, he reportedly discovered old emails between her and Cudi, and he lost it. According to her legal filing, Diddy was so enraged that he confirmed Kid Cudi was at home and then arranged for his car to be blown up. And here's the shocking part, Kid Cudi's vehicle actually did explode in his own driveway. That detail in Cassie's lawsuit wasn't some wild embellishment. It really occurred. Now that the trial is escalating, even more names are likely to emerge. But let's circle back. Prince's connection to all this was a narrative twist no one could have foreseen. And now, people are beginning to ask whether Prince knew something. The whispers are becoming louder, and some are beginning to wonder if that alleged recording he supposedly had of Diddy may have had something to do with his own untimely death. It's a chilling idea, but when you start to connect the dots, it really gives you pause. Because here's the unsettling part. Just days before Prince passed away, he seemed to sense that something ominous was approaching. He posted a photo of himself with a since-deleted caption that read, "Just when you thought you were safe." That message alone is enough to give you goosebumps. During his final public appearance at Paisley Park, following reports he had undergone some sort of medical treatment, he told the audience something cryptic. "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." What kind of person says that? Unless they feel a storm is approaching. And then, just like that, Prince was gone. He was discovered unresponsive at his Minnesota estate. The official cause of death was ruled as an accidental overdose of fentanyl, allegedly from counterfeit Vicodin pills. But let's be real, many people never bought into that explanation. Prince had long been known for his clean lifestyle, no drugs, no chaos. So how does someone like that end up dying from a synthetic opioid? Did Prince have underlying health issues? That's a question that keeps resurfacing. But let's not ignore the broader possibility. There might be far more to this story than just his physical condition. You see, Prince wasn't merely a musician, he was a warrior. For decades, he fought fiercely against major corporate entities for ownership and control over his musical catalog. He was relentless in his mission to defend artists' rights and ensure they received fair compensation. And some believe he ultimately paid the highest price for standing firm. There has long been speculation as to whether Warner Brothers may have had any connection to what eventually happened to him. Nothing has been definitively proven, but if you ask his devoted fans, many remain convinced there's more beneath the surface. They believe the very system he opposed might have had a role in silencing him. Prince signed with Warner Music in 1977 when he was merely 18 years old. His first few albums, from 1978 to 1981, didn't become massive hits, but Warner stood by him. They already viewed him as a trailblazer, a visionary, and they weren't wrong. Then came 1982, just 1 year after MTV debuted. Prince released new music, hit the US top 10 for the first time, and revolutionized the industry. He wasn't just releasing records, he was crafting a mythos around himself. He recognized the power of visual storytelling. He understood that a music video was far more than promotional material.
2-second phone call, he's gone. I had been preparing for 2 years, so I knew that it was coming.
What does that mean?
He said it a couple of years ago.
What would he say?
What he said was, I've done everything that I've come to do. So I was crushed for about 2.
And here's where things start to feel downright eerie. There's word going around that Prince may have been fully aware of those notorious freak-off parties that Diddy was known for, and he wanted absolutely no part in them. According to Jason Lee, the very first extravagant party he attended, hosted by Diddy, took place at Prince's estate. But Jason noticed something peculiar. No one was allowed to bring their own security. That's a red flag. Prince may have granted Diddy access to his mansion for these wild events, but he made absolutely certain that external protection stayed out. That level of control seems extremely intentional, and knowing what we do about Prince, private, methodical, constantly observing, you really have to wonder, what if those security cameras were capturing everything the entire time? This is Prince we're talking about, someone who was always several moves ahead. What if he recorded everything and ensured those tapes were hidden or given to someone he trusted before his passing? With rumors now circulating that Prince's name may be mentioned during this trial, people are drawing connections. And what's emerging is unsettling. What if Prince possessed too much knowledge? What if those videos truly exist? Could that possibly be related to how he died? And here's a detail that strikes deep. Prince's sister, Tyka Nelson, once stated that he told her he was in danger, just days before he died. Many believed they weren't particularly close, but insiders have suggested otherwise. Their bond extended beyond blood. They shared confidences. In 2018, Tyka Nelson revealed how profound their connection really was. They were inseparable during childhood, and their parents told Prince it was his duty to protect her. So wherever he went, she followed. Their relationship wasn't just familial, it was unbreakable. And it wasn't limited to emotional support. At one point, Prince literally saved her life. When Tyka was struggling with substance addiction, Prince intervened and placed her into rehabilitation. He didn't stand by helplessly, he took action. That's the level of loyalty they shared. But here's the part that's absolutely gut-wrenching. Tyka said that when Prince began to sense his time was limited, he started preparing her, not just a few days in advance, but 2 entire years before his death. That kind of foresight is deeply disturbing. She even told the Minnesota Star-Tribune that during their last phone call, just 4 days before his passing, something didn't feel right. She tried to have a serious heart-to-heart conversation, but he kept deflecting, changing topics, joking, laughing briefly, as if trying to keep things light. She asked him, "How are you, really?" But Prince never opened up. He sensed she was worried, and he clearly had his own burdens, but he kept it all inside. That silence said everything. Whatever was going on, he chose not to share it, possibly as a way of protecting those he loved. One thing is undeniable. There was much happening behind the scenes during those final days. Whether any of it connects directly to Diddy remains a tangled and unresolved mystery. And if Prince's name truly ends up being entangled in this courtroom storm, time will ultimately reveal the truth. But now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Prince might have had recordings of Diddy at those infamous freak-off parties? And if so, why didn't he ever make them public? Was he waiting for the right moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who's been tracking this unbelievable saga. Hit that notification bell, because trust me, this story is far from over.